Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Welcome, respected friends. Chaturmasa divine days start from today. Make use of them, as said yesterday, for the best of the sadhanas which you can do, or already sadhanas which we are doing, do them in a better manner. Yes, our 5 classes, like every day, Veda Parayanam, common sense thought, Mangalacharana Shloka, Sankalpas, Charanam, and Upanishad with Bhashyam, Shwethashwathara Upanishad. 4th Adhyaya is our subject under discussion. Atma Swarupa Lakshanas, Atma Swarupa Mahima, Tadastha Lakshana, Swarupa Lakshana, and how to recognize what is the PHALA. These are the topics repeatedly we are told, so that we are informed and inspired, and we take the initiative and do our best in this life, slowly, steadily, with full conviction. Let us continue the 17th mantra Bhashya from where we stopped yesterday. Before that, Vedic chanting Rigvedaha Navama Mandalam 87, 88, 89, 90. These 4 anuvakas, let us chant. Om Athaveda Parayanam Rigvedaha Navama Mandalam Atha Saptashitidama Anuvakadarabhyam Om Pratudravaparikosham Nishidan Rubih Punano Avivajamarusha Ashvam Natva Vajinam Marjayantocha Barhirashanabhirnayanti Swayudah Pavate Deva Indurashasstiha Vrujanam Rakshamanaha Pita Devanam Janita Sudaksho Vishtambho दिवो दरुणः पृथिव्याः ऋषिर्विप्रः पुर एता जनानां रुभिर्धीरः उशना काव्येन सचिद्विवेदनिहितं यदा सामपेच्यं गुह्यन्नामगोनाम् एषस्य ते मधुमा इन्द्रसोमो वृषा पृष्ठे परिपवित्रे अक्षाः सहस्रसाः शतसा भूरिदा वा शश्वत्तमं बर्हिरावाज्यस्ताद् एते सोमा अभिगव्या सहस्रा महे वाजायामृताय श्रवांसे पवित्रेभिः पवमाना असृग्रन्थवस्य वो न पृतनाजो अत्याह परिहिष्मा पुरुहूतो जनानां विश्वासरद्भोजना पूयमानः अथावरश्येन भृतप्रयां सिरयिं तुञ्जानो अभिवाजमर्ष एष सुवानः परिसोम पवित्रे सर्गो न सृष्टो अदधावदर्वा दिग्मे शिशानो महिषो न शृङ्गेगा गव्यन्न विशूरो न सत्त्वा एषाययौ परमादन्तरद्रेः कुचित् सतीरुर्वेगा विवेद दिवो न विद्युत्स्तनयन्त्यभ्रैः सोमस्य ते भवत इन्द्रधारा कुतस्वराशिं पर्यासिको नामिन्द्रेण सोम शरथं पुनास्नः पूर्वेरिषो बृहतेर्जीरदानो शिक्षा शचीवस्तवता उपष्टुत 88. अयं सोम इन्द्रतुभ्यं सुन्वेतुभ्यं पवते त्वमस्य पाहि त्वं हयं चकृषे त्वं ववृष इन्दुं वदाय युज्याय सोमं स ईम्रतो न भूरिषाणयोजिमहः पुरोणि सात एव सोनि आदिं विश्वा नहुष्याणि जाता स्वर्शाता वस वन ऊर्ध्वानवन्त वायुर्नयो नियुत्वागम् इष्टयामाना सत्येव हव आशम्भविष्टः विश्ववारो द्रविणोदा इवत्मन् पूषेव धीजवनोऽसि सोम इन्द्रो नयो महा कर्माणि चक्रीर्हन्ता वृत्राणामसि सोमपूर्भिद पैद्वो न हि त्वमहिनाम्नां हन्ता विश्वस्यासि सोमदस्योः अग्निर्नयो वन आसृज्यमानो वृथा पाजांसि कृणुते नदीशो जनो न युद्ध्वा महत उपब्धिर्यर्ति सोम पवमान ऊर्मिम् एते सोमा अतिवाराण्यव्या दिव्यानकोशासो अब्रवर्षाः वृथा समुद्रं सिन्धवो न नीचीः सुतासो अभिकलशागम् असृग्रन् शुष्मे शर्दो न मारुतम् पवस्वानभिशस्ता दिव्या यथा विट आपो न मक्षो सुमतिर्भवानः सहस्राप्साः पृथनाशान्न यज्ञः राज्ञो नु ते वरुणस्य व्रतानि बृहद्गभीरन्तव सोमधाम शुचिष्वमसि प्रियो न मित्रो दक्षाय्यो अर्यमेवासि सोमा 89 प्रोस्य वह्निः पत्याविरस्यान् दिवो न वृष्टिः पवमानो अक्षाः सहस्रधारो असदन्यस्मे मातुरुपस्तेव न आच सोमः राजा सिन्धूनामवसिष्ठवासरुतस्य नावमारुहद्रजिष्ठाम् अप्सुद्रप्सो वा वृदेशेन जूतो दुह ईं विदा दुह ईं पितुर्जाम् सिंहं न सन्तमध्वो अयासं हरिमरुषं दिवो अस्य पथिं शूरो युत्सु प्रथमः पृच्छते गा अस्य चक्षुषा परिपात्युक्षा मधुपृष्टं घोरमया समश्वं रथे युञ्जन्त्युरुचक्ररुष्वं स्वसार ईं जामयो मर्जयन्ति सनाभयो वाजिनमूर्जयन्ते चतस्र ईं घृतदुहा सचन्ते समाने अन्तर्धरुणे निषत्ताः ता ईमर्षन्ति नमसा पुनानास्ता ईं विश्वतः परिशन्ति पूर्वीः विष्टम्भो दिवो दरुणः पृथिव्या विश्वा उत हितयो हस्ते अस्य असत्त उत्सो गृणते नियुत्वान्मध्वो अंशुः पवत इन्द्रियाय पन्वन्नवातो अभिदेववीतिमिन्द्राय सोम पुत्रः भवस्व शक्तिः महापुरुश्चन्द्रस्य राय सुवीर्यस्य पतयस्याम प्रहिन्वानो जनिदारोदस्यो रथो न वाजं सनिष्यन्नयासीत् इन्द्रं गच्छन्नायुधा संशिशानो विश्वा वसुहस्तयो राजधानः अभित्रिपृष्ठं वृषणं वयोधामाङ्गूषाणामवावशन्तवाणे वाणेः वनावसानो वरुणो न सिन्धोन्विरत्नधादयते वार्याणे शूरग्रामः सर्ववीर सहावाञ्जेता भवस्वसनिता धनानि तिग्मायुधः क्षिप्रधन्वा समत्स्वषाढः साह्वान् पृथनासु शत्रून् उरुगव्यूतिरभयानि कृण्वन् समीचीने आपवस्वापुरन्धे अवः शिशासन्नुषसः स्वर्गाः संचिक्रदो महो अस्मभ्यं वाजान् मत्सि सोमवरुणं मत्सि मित्रं मत्सीन्द्रमिन्दो पवमानविष्णुं मत्सि शर्धो मारुतं मत्सि देवान् मत्सि महामिन्द्रमिन्दो मदाय एवाराजेव क्रतुमा आगम् अमेन विश्वा घनिघ्नद्दुरिता भवस्व इन्दो सूक्ताय वचसे वयोधा यूयं भात स्वस्तिभिः सदा नः ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. That's wonderful. Very precious, powerful Veda Mantrocharana. We just have started. Good. Very nice practice every day. Friends, in our today's common sense thought, so very simple, very lighter, that the gap between our ignorance and our jnanam is so much, so much, so much that it has to be filled. Jnanam, when we say the beginning one, the information. Again, the gap between the information and real jnanam, understanding and acceptance, let us say, that also is so much. And to fill up these gaps, the amount of efforts, struggles which we have to put are enormous. And the common enemies, common disturbances, common obstructions are there. Very little, maybe 10-20% from outside. The remaining 90% is from inside only. And most funniest thing is what? The gap between what knowledges we have, what convictions we have, and then how much practical we are in practicing what knowledge we are convinced about. Again, the gap is so much enormous. You know, whether it is the knowledge about the values, knowledge about our dharma, or the knowledge about even our outer successes, or our knowledge about the upasana आदि, इसमें भी every चीज में gap है. Gap between ignorance and information, information and knowledge, knowledge and conviction, conviction and practice. And whether it is the Vedanta Marga, the gap between jnana and abhyasa and anubhuti. Again, whether it is the jnana regarding sadhana chatushtaya sampada, which last week we studied for more than 6-7 days. See that gap between our ignorance and knowledge. Some of us got the information, but did we convert it into knowledge? See that gap between them. For some of us, yes, knowledge of out of 9, at least few things might have happened to us. Jnanam. But what about the gap between the jnanam and abhyasa practice? And we are talking here about the ability to regularly, continuously do the abhyasa. After that, only we can expect the changes, the transformations, the results that we want. We have to recognize इतने सारे बीच में गैप्स हैं मुझे fill up करना है ना. And then it takes tremendous efforts, so much of efforts, because of the stage where we are in, the timings we are in, the world we are in, isn't it? And that struggle is called as Adhyatmika Sadhana. Ki so many gaps I have to fill up, I have to become conscious, I have to become alert, I have to be well disciplined, I have to see that I am always in that company which empowers me, encourages me, inspires me in positive things. I should not be in that involvement, knowingly or unknowingly, which develops these gaps as said earlier. So, in that way, so much of thinking we have to have, so much of understandings we have to have, so much of freedom from delusions we have to gain. Most of the things are delusions only, confusions only. You know, we have to find freedom from all of them. It's a big, big thing. That's why, in general, the life maturity and particularly spiritual maturity is not just overnight achievement, not just a few days of efforts achievement. It's a continuous, lifelong process. And the people absolutely ignorant about spirituality, but one category is there. There is other category who have so much thoroughly. The spiritual knowledge, but zero practice. सब कुछ जानते हैं, सबको बोलते हैं, सारा प्रवचन करते हैं, but regarding their own sadhana, not even started only. Started to get out of the upadhis, etc. No, still hanging around, living life as dehosmi only. Knowledge आ गया है, सिद्धांत ज्ञान has come, but that siddhanta has to be practiced and we have to get the anubhuti that vyavasayatmika buddhi, nischayatmika buddhi, right? That drudha vancha that I have to experience it, that prayatna, it is so tough. The power of vasanas in us pulls us again and again. No, live life like the dehadi upadhi only. Isn't it? For a jnani also, siddhanta jnani also, to get the spashtata of the siddhanta jnana itself is many, many lives of struggle. That type of inclination, that type of intellection, that type of interest has to be there where or with which we go to the Guru, listen and do our own homework and study and understand this subject matter like any other subject of physics, chemistry or maths. I know. Thereafter, even though the knowledge has come, still we are not free from the Maya and from our own inner terrible, wrongly trained, wrongly habituated personality. That was never cared for many, 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 many lives. Like the children pampered, 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 and so much pampered now that you want to change them. बस इस लाइफ के लिए ये उम्मीद छोड़ दो, isn't it? For how many things we left the ummid in our life outside with regard to people that they can't be changed, who are spoiled by us only. In the same way, we have spoiled ourselves beyond any account that अब उम्मीद ही नहीं रख सकते हैं कि हम इस जिंदगी में कुछ कर पाते. That much are the power of the delusions, the chains that pull us into the worldliness. Now you understand when they say in all our shastras again and again, again and again, again and again, how many pasha we are bound by. Why they repeatedly say in so many shastras? Only to inform us that this is how you made yourself. You are now. And you have to be so, and for that, the amount of struggle. It is so terrible. Isn't it like, our India country? From the time of freedom 47, say, later, up to the last 10 years, with so much of immature, selfish, absolutely arrogant policies. How many ways, right from twisting the constitution onwards, so many wrong policies, wrong decisions are made in hundreds of things that to reset the whole country in correct direction of development in all aspects appears that it will take 100 years. And everywhere there is sensitivity. You cannot touch the constitution. See the struggle to remove that one nonsense article 370 or 35A. It was absurd. It was absolutely not in the interest of our nation at all. No, like that, there are thousand things in that. So many, I need not mention them. Each of them are obstacles for the growth of the nation, which are brought by absolutely selfish, arrogant politicians. Not a true, genuine Desha Bhakta at all. But some type of fancy, some type of what you call the glamour they had, and the stupid Janta, without thinking, Bewakuf number one, we went on electing them. Best example is you can see the neighbor country, the Pakistan. Can you imagine for the next 200 years, at least 300 years, it will improve? Is there any system? Is there any policies? Everywhere the extreme nonsense. One side you see the religious fanaticism to the peak level. No country in the world has that much nonsense. Second side, the praja have not even a word to say. They cannot command government, they cannot do anything. Third, whichever the government they elect to, that is absolutely powerless. Somebody else rules. That somebody is absolutely wants money and power, that's all. And he will use all his power to twist and turn and change everything at every moment. And finally, all that power is not in their hands also. It is in the hand of somebody, which even our stupid India is not able to understand. That who made the Pahalgam attack? Could we understand it finally? We say Pakistan, no, it's America has done it. But we cannot understand it. We have so many our own diplomatic problems. If America doesn't support the terrorism continuously, how dare these people can do? In whose hands the entire Pakistan is there? See that? In which way you can develop that country now? Everywhere gone, gone, gone. Like that, every nation has caught up in something or the other. Every organization also caught up in something or the other. For example, I told you two things, our country and that country. And all these confusions, chaos are rooted where? Which are the global problems, universal problems, international problems, intranational problems. Where are they all rooted? They are all rooted in the individual problem. Isn't it? That's why the Vedanta, the spirituality, says you change, the world will change. If every of the Indian doesn't change from within to be Desha Bhakta, to be the Dharmika, to be a contributor, if everyone doesn't change, then the few good people, how many ever good policies they have or try to do, will these negative people allow them? Will any country grow? Isn't it? In this way, as the whole universal problems are rooted in the individual problem, now we are discussing from the spiritual standpoint. We are so much deeply in our inner mess of every aspect that we are hesitant even to have Siddhanta Jnana of the spirituality. Now let us come to total spiritual thinking. Then whoever have got the Siddhanta Jnana lack the ability, energy, willpower, conviction, optimism that I can do these sadhanas. Some of us, those who try to do them, are defeated by these small little hindrances and obstacles, proving to us that we are so much powerless, impotent. Like that Arjuna, with so much of ego, arrogance, he came to fight. But the moment he saw the army and Bhishma Drona, all that potency has gone. He has become important. That's why Bhagavan called Klaibyam. Every one of us are like that. When it comes to sadhana, little bit this much we do, bas thak gaye. Open the book to study, 2 minute पढ़ लिया, बस book फेंक दिया. That also after how many days we touched the book. Go to the temple, so much dragging. कब गए पिछले बार? वो 10 साल हो गए. Go to the satsang, very tough. बस एक दिन out of obligation we go because somebody pulled us or forced us. And we tell them by एक ही दिन आऊंगा. Okay, we may not tell, but it is understood. See that personality of ours dragged into the world and worldliness, so much habitual. That's why we are saying it is a tremendous struggle to fill up all these gaps. We must know it. And with so much of patience, perseverance, more than everything, invoking divine powers. We were all invoking the devilish powers, so therefore they were ruling like our country, ruling our own life. आसुरी प्रकृति को आसुरी शक्तियों को which are tamo rajo guna we were going on invoking, so they came, They are ruling our life and ruining our life. Then more powerfully than them, we have to now invoke the Daiviya Shaktis. That is why the Nirantara Upasanas, Nirantara Prarthanas to Paramatma, single pointedly to help us, to equip us for those positive divine Shaktis with which we fill up all these gaps. Finally, we are consistently able to do our due sadhanas, outer and inner, till we reach to the goal. You understand? So fill up those gaps, and lots of sacrifices, lots of efforts are required. And always remember, in this set of goals that we have to achieve, our abilities, powers are very tiny, itna hi hote, which are never sufficient. So therefore, divine intervention required, divine invocation required. It's as in the case of all the avatara kala, that in that Dwapara Yuga, right from the Shishpalas, the Jarasandhas, the Duryodhanas, the Dushasanas, then the Kamsas, then Mushtigacharnuras, and their Paundraka Deva. How many Dushtas were there? So no Pandavas, including we, they themselves have so much power, can totally wholesale eliminate. Therefore, Krishna has to come. So too, the Ravanasura, wow, Kumbhakarna, so much. Indrajita, so much. And there hundreds and thousands of Nayakas only, following whom are millions and millions of Rakshasas. And the Kharas, the Dushanas, the Trishiras, the Marichas, the Subahu, all of them. And en route, these Kabandas, the Viradhas. अब कितने राक्षस थे देखो उस समय. In Ravanasura's place, so many of them. Each one's power are so much, so much, so much. Uncountable. Therefore, even though there is Ugriva, there is Hanuman, there is Jambavan, Angada, Neela, Nala, that is not sufficient. Rama had to come. And Rama also cannot do everything. Lakshmana had to follow. आपको दिख रहा है ना? So too in that Krita Yuga. Shumbhasura, Nishumbhasura, Chandasura, Mundasura, then Mahishasura, then how many of them? Raktaksha, Raktabija. All the avatars put together, they can't. Therefore, they have to invoke the mother only. Isn't it? Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Sakala Devata Shaktis had to come together to become powerful enough and do the ferocious war. In all these examples, the wars were very terrible and ferocious. When Krishna fought with the Rakshasas, it was ferocious. So many. Rama, Ravana Yuddha, you all know. All of that. Rama, Karadushana Yuddha, Rama, Ravana Yuddha, सब जानते हो आप. फिर देवी युद्ध with all of them. Kitna terrible. You have seen Devi Bhagavatam, you have seen Durga Saptashati, etc. How much powerful were those Rakshasas? But mother had to struggle to eliminate not all of them in one go. In all these cases, भगवान ने कहीं भी होलसेल में सबको नहीं मारा है कि नहीं. In Ramayana, if you see, he started with the सबसे weakest a women. Both in Krishna Avatar and Ramatara, first wicket was women only. है ना? In the Krishna Avatara, it was Putana. In the Rama Avatara, कौन थी वो? The first one whom Lord has finished. From this slowly small little problems sort out करते हुए, then bigger one were eliminated. There also in Devi Bhagavatam, mother also eliminating smaller Rakshasas. Then the final ones were the Shumbhasura and Nishumbhasura. Here also final was the Ravana and Kumbhakarna Indrajit. और यहाँ भी the terrible Jarasandhas and all of them. भयंकर थे वो लोग. So all of they indicate that divine power we need continuous struggle we need to eliminate our inner enemies of tamoguna and its lakshanas, rajoguna and its lakshanas. And equally effortful is the gaining of all the sattva guna lakshanas which are required. Then only that so called spiritual journey, right from the first step of being regular to the classes, being regular to the study, able to गुण अटैक करता है, कभी रजोगुण, कभी अस्वस्थता of the शरीर. अब देखो unmentioned problems continuously attack. हम भी हैं तुम्हें तंग करने के लिए करके they keep on coming. So how much of sattva guna shaktis we have to have to avoid all of them, defeat all of them, say no to all of them, and then maintain our mood, our memory, and our practice. Mood of sadhana, memory of knowledge, practice of knowledge. And it's not that I started journey and I'm now on the highway, that there are no obstacles. ऐसा नहीं होता. You may be on highway, anywhere, any the road can break, the land can slide, the heavy rains can come, कुछ भी हो सकता है. You understand? You can never assure by any means that the road is always smooth till the destination is reached. Anywhere, any type of obstacle can come. And mind you, even in the Marga spiritual also, there can be tragedies. Don't you see? Is it that only in the cities where the Mahabhogis, Dushtas are there that all the rains or floods or accidents happening? People en route to Badrinath also, bus collapses. En route to Kedarnath also, landslides. होता है कि नहीं? अब वो तो भगवान की तरफ जा रहे हैं वो लोग. So what? The problems if you have to come, they'll come. So you and I, तो मैं तो साधना ही कर रहा हूँ ना, मेरे को क्यों obstacles आ रहे हैं? Obstacles will come only which you have invoked in the past. That's why you see all bhaktas only suffer more. It has many angles to discuss. All those angles I am not taking up. I'm just saying to be mentally prepared that these gaps have to be filled up, and for that the struggle is like this. Like a city because of earthquake when it is into rubbles, how much of struggle it takes to remake it fully. समझो? Or two nations are attacking and so many missiles are put, पूरा सत्यानाश. अब उसको बनाने में कितना टाइम लगता है ना? एक घर को दोबारा बनाने में ही so much of time और energy takes. Imagine पूरा टाउन ही टाउन खराब हो गया तो every system is gone. Electricity gone, internet is gone, water supply is gone, road system is destroyed. सारा गया, अब फिर से कितना है? Same is in our life. We don't know body management, we don't know prana shakti management, we don't know indriya management, we don't know mano management, we don't know how to invoke buddhi and its shaktis and use it rightly. We don't know how to invoke God's krupa, Guru krupa. We don't know how to behave with the world. अब देखो everywhere rubbles only. Is it not? And yet we cannot, should not give up. We should study all these, prepare ourselves thoroughly, and then keep on doing. अब एक एक जन्म में एक एक जगह नया नया मौका मिलता रहता है करते हुए. In this life, decide I am sadhak and do what is the best which can do. Then you say every life I am sadhak only. ये thought भेजो अंदर. I am Paramatma Prapti Sadhaka only. Any number of lives I may get. This thought entertained by me this life puts me again back on the track next life where I am because of my prarabdha. I may be born in US for my prarabdha or any Algeria, Nigeria or anywhere. But if I have sent my thought powerfully, I am sadhaka. Even I am born in those odd conditions, I can still continue. That's why you see in every corner of the world, there are the Adhyatmika sadhakas. कोई वृंदावन में आके बसते, कोई काशी में आके बस रहे कि नहीं फॉरेनर्स. How is it happening? Because they had a strong thought, कि हमें bhakti करनी. Just like how many Indians were born in this India, such a beautiful nation, kicked it and went and settled in the Bhoga Bhumi, the foreign countries. That's because they had that strong sankalpa. Isliye, in spite of their being blessed to be born in India, their willingness or the will has pushed them to settle in that Bhoga Bhumi. And they try, they justify, or chalta rehta. There's no end to that. So all that keeping in mind, we recognizing that the miles to go before we sleep, knowing that so much of efforts have to be put to fill up the gaps between, and invoking the grace from everywhere, we try our best. Like a lower middle class person wants to make a 3 bedroom house. उनका जो struggles होते हैं, you all know it. वहां ना एक एक पत्थर के लिए गिनती करना पड़ता है, पैसे कहां से लाए. एक एक ईंट के लिए देखना पड़ता है. And when the saturation of all the money is over, जितने पैसे, उसके बाद half work is done. The days are, passing ahead. Have to pay money to the contractors, etc. From nowhere the loans are coming anymore. सारा स्वर्ण गोल्ड जो है वो लगा दिया है बैंक में. जो जो गुडविल वाले वेल विशर्स थे, they have given whatever they could. Now see the struggle that, and he has to pay the rent in the rented house. He was so excited, quickly घर बन जाए, वहां जाकर शिफ्ट हो जाएंगे. होता नहीं. Somehow out of that 3 bedroom, एक रूम थोड़ा सेट करके livable बनाकर, they will empty this house, rented वाला, to save that money and stay there and struggle there, and थोड़ा 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 कराते. Isn't it? We have seen all of that, whether making a house ka ho, or getting a business settled ka ho, getting the children settled in their study, education, etc. How a lower middle class wala suffer karte. Even middle class, even upper middle class also thoda aajkal, if they want to get higher education for children, they have to shell out amount no more in lakhs now, crores. Medical seat खरीदना है तो करोड़. Same is spirituality. I'm just telling the examples to say that we cannot afford to be, what do you call, careless. We cannot afford to be negligent anymore. Then we have to take everything seriously, yet we must also understand, accept the difficulties. And then slowly, steadily evolve. करते रहो, करते रहो, यही है. All the time invoking the divine kripa only for this purpose also helps us. And that's why only one Prahlada, only one Narada, only one Nachiketa. एक युग में एक ही होते हैं वैसे. But the achievers are plenty in number again. Some are in limelight, whose names are in the history books. Many of them are not in the history books, but they have realized the self. And like in film industry, how many are in limelight? Very few, but there are thousands of actors came and अपने किरदार निभा के चले गए वो लोग. But they also have done their best. So too, how many politicians, how many professionals in every field have become famous. Famous कुछ ही होते हैं, but कुछ अचीव करते हैं, बहुत कुछ ट्राई करते हैं. The joy is in knowing all this, and joy is in joyfully trying our best. रोना मत. वो इतना डिफिकल्ट है, सो आज मैं नहीं करूंगा, तो जिंदगी भी डिफिकल्ट है. नथिंग इज इजी इन दिस. So give up that crying, conserve all abilities, energies, employ them only for sadhana, single pointedly. That is what is Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, which we'll study in Gita. And then invoke the divine grace. So this is how. Be aware of all this and mature in accepting them. Be gambhira in that. डरना भी नहीं, छोड़कर जाना भी नहीं, और कॉन्फिडेंस भी नहीं करना, लेजी भी नहीं रहना. These many I have to do. Among that, what I can do today. अब उतना करो बस. Think. Om 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 सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ये मे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्य प्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्व वेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। निधये सर्वविद्यानां विषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ओम गुरुपुङ्गवपुङ्गवकेतनते समतामयतां नहि कोऽपि सुधि शरणागतवत्सल तत्त्वनिधे भव शङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम्। ओम ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वदी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्त ब्रह्म विद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। भाण्डु श्वेताश्वतरोपनिषदाचार्येभ्यो नमः। संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधेन अस्मिन् क्षणे एव मोक्ष कैवल्य प्राप्ति सनातन धर्मस्य विश्वव्याप्ति विश्व आध्यात्मिक प्रगति एकता शांति पुरोभिवृद्ध्यर्थं सनातन धर्म संस्थापकानां निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थं श्रीराम मंदिरवत् शिव कृष्णादि मंदिरादीनां पुनर्वाप्ति तेषु निरंतर शास्त्र अध्ययन अध्यापन उपासना यज्ञ साधना सेवा तपस्या प्रार्थनादीनां द्वारा भारतवर्षस्य सनातन धर्मस्य बाह्याभ्यंतर शत्रुविघ्न शाश्वत समूल निर्मूलन पूर्वक वैदिक हिंदव संस्कृते धर्म मोक्ष पुरुषार्थानां भारतवर्षे विश्वे च सुसंप्रतिष्ठा अवाप्त्यर्थम् अस्यां कक्षायाम् आगतानां संकल्पित सत्कर्मसु दिग्विजयार्थं तेषां हृदये परब्रह्मादीनां प्रतिभक्त्यादीनां द्वारा जन्म साफल्यार्थम् अनेक शास्त्राणाम् अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये कृष्ण यजुर्वेदीय श्वेताश्वतरोपनिषदः आद्य शंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मोक्षार्थं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। ओम नित्यानन्दं निराधारं निखिलाधारम् अव्ययं निगमाद्यगतं नित्यं नीलकण्ठं नमाम्यहम्। पारायणार्थे अथ षष्ठोऽध्यायः। Let us do um, yeah 15, 16, 17 3 let us do. ओम एकोऽहं सह भुवनस्यास्य मध्ये स एवाग्निः सलिले सन्निविष्टः तमेव विदित्वा अतिमृत्युमेति नान्यः पन्था विद्यते अयनाय स विश्वकृत् विश्वविदात्मयोनिः न्यः कालकारो गुणी सर्वविद् यः प्रधानक्षेत्रज्ञपतिर्गुणेशः संसारमोक्षस्थितिबन्धहेतुः सतन्मयो हि अमृत ईश संस्थः ज्ञः सर्वगो भुवनस्यास्य गोप्ता य ईशेस्य जगतो नित्यमेव नान्यो हेतुर्विद्यते ईशनाय। ओम यस 17th मंत्र। ओम एष देवो विश्वकर्मा महात्मा सदाचराणां हृदये सन्निविष्टः हृदा मनीषा मनसा विक्लुप्तः य एतद्विदुः अमृताः ते भवन्ति। So yesterday's discussion was based on fully engrossed in this life of Shastra Adhyana, Shastra Chintana, Shastrokta Sadhana and Shastrokta Paramatma Anubhuti. All that explanation we gave on the basis of the word Eshaha Devaha, to which when Bhashyakara said Eshaha Prakritaha Devaha. So Prakritaha is the word which we explained yesterday, that throughout our life the Deva alone should be the Prakrita subject in context. Anytime we are always in the context of the divinity only. For a true spiritual sadhaka, spirituality is not a part-time job, temporary job, 1 hour to no. For a genuine one, it is whole time. That way we have interpreted a prakrita शब्द का. आप क्या कर रहे हो? मैं साधना कर. 10 साल पहले मैंने पूछा था, आप तभी वही बोले. नहीं नहीं, मैं पिछले अनेक जन्मों से वही कर रहा हूँ, अगले भी बहुत जन्म वही करूंगा, टिल आई रीच परमात्मा. दैट्स कॉल्ड प्रकृत. ठीक है. देन देवः द्योतनात्मकः, वी हैव एक्सप्लेन्ड. देशो देवो विश्वकर्मा, वी हैव सीन. Karma is the one on which action happens. What is the one on which the action has happened? Vishwa. What is the action happened on the Vishwa? It is being projected. On whom? On Paramatma. By whom? By Paramatma's Maya Shakti. By whose will? His will only. So that is the Mahima of Paramatma. विश्वरूपी कर्म को अपनी माया शक्ति से उन्होंने बनाया. Here karma is not action. Karma is the object on which the action happens. Like karta, karma, kriya. है कि नहीं? कर्ता कर्म क्रिया. Not karma also means the karam puta वगैरह. Karma is on which the action. Like I am the karta. This pen is the karma, and I have lifted it from there and put it here. That's called as kriya. Karta karma kriya. So here Vishwa karma. He has done the creation. Now the creation is in front of us. That creation in front of us is karma. He is the one who projected it with his own power. Karta karma kriya. So sometimes karma का अर्थ हम ऐसा भी लेते हैं. Like that wife asked the husband कि tell me what is karta karma kriya in Sanskrit in its meaning. Vyakaranam. है ना? Then the husband has his own grammatic knowledge. He said तुम्हारा मेरा शादी हुआ, वो करवाए ना पंडित जी, वो करता है. और तुमको मैंने शादी किया, मेरा कर्म है, अब तुरंत तलाक देना है क्रिया. He said like that. So not that way. So Vishwakarma, Bhagwan is he. Always be in that mood that Paramatma with his Maya Shakti on him projected this Rupanama, which we call as world. There is nothing called as world. Everything is Brahman only. There is nothing called as waves, etc. Everything is water. Hope this is understood as a result of so many years of our discussion. But that we have to experience. It's not sufficient to intellectually understand that there is nothing called as world, there is only Brahman. वो फायदा नहीं होगा. ब्रह्मानुभव से ही मोक्ष होता है. So Vishwakarma. Then Mahatma, Mahan cha so Atma cha. We have seen Mahatma. How to understand the word Mahatma? Sarva Vyapi iti artha. And Vishwakarma, he himself is there as substratum, therefore he has to be Sarva Vyapi. Sarva Vyapi. See that when you keep on with absolute introvertedness, ponder over the meaning of these words, slowly the understanding about the Paramatma, understand. In his transcendental and in his eminent, we try to get, we get it. Then with this basis, when he said that see the Jagat as Paramatma, have bhakti bhavana towards it, seva bhavana towards it, they become very easily acceptable. Without this knowledge, serve the world, serve the country, it will never happen. Even it happens temporarily. That also is selfishness. But when I know Siddhanta Rupena, the whole Jagat is expression of Paramatma only, then it will be easier for me to grasp it and live life outside as a servant, which is very essential. Then, in our inner clarity, the transcendental also will be understood. Then our effort to identify with him also happens when we understand the meaning of these words. That's why the Upanishadkara has given them, Bhashyakara has explained, we are studying. So, Yesha Devo Vishwakarma Mahatma, the next one we have understood was Sada Jananam Hridaye. Hridaye means what? In Chidakashe. Parame Vyomni Hridakashe Sannivishtaha. How? Jaladi Upadishu Surya Pratibimbavat Nivishtaha Samyak Sthitaha iti etatu. Therefore, Paramatma is available to us as Chidabhasa in our heart. Chidabhasa is not our heart, Paramatma. Chidabhasa is the way, intermediate stage which we have to recognize. After recognizing him, then that aham vritti is also dropped, then it's not a Chida Abhasa, it is pure Chit. To realize our Chit Swarupa, the point on which we have to attend is Chidabhasa. That Chidabhasa is in our own Hridaya. That is why Sada Jananam Hridaye Sannivishtaha, Bhagavan Adi Shankara gave the example like Jala Adishu Surya Pratibimbavat. Adi means the darpana, etc. So in water, in the mirror, just like the reflection of the sun, so too in the Hridaya Akasha, in the Ahamvritti, the pure consciousness is reflecting or expressing as Chidabhasa. The Chidabhasa expresses as knowingness. That knowingness with buddhi, the jnanam, with mana, the emotions, with the indriyas, the perception, etc., it is happening. Because of that only, identifying with them, I say, I am jnata, I am manta, I am drashta, I am shrota. Who is this I am? Not the pure conscious self. It is Chidabhasa who is saying. The Chidabhasa identifying with the I. It says, I am the drashta of the drishya with the I. So too with the ear it says, I am shrota. So first stop seeing and listening, then drop identity with the ear and I, then focus on the Chidabhasa, then reach to Chitswarup. This is the journey. Keep it in mind, it will click when we are on the road, inner road. So that is the meaning of Sada Jananam Hridaye, Hrut, Akashe, Hridaye, Parame Vyomni, Hrud Akashe. Example, Jaladi Upadishu Surya Pratibimbavat Nivishtaha Samyak Nivishtaha iti etatu. So, ये दो लाइन हो गए. Now the third, fourth line of the mantra we have to understand with Bhashyam. What is that? Hruda Manisha Manasa Abhikruptaha Ya etadiduhu te amrutaha bhavanti. So Hruda Manisha Manasa are the sadhanas. That is why the instrumental case, by these sadhanas. Abhikruptaha means that self is realized, that Atman, the Brahman, is realized. Who was said as Devaha, Vishwakarma, Mahatma, etc. Deva is original form, Jyotana, Prakasha Swarupa. Vishwakarma is from the Vishwa standpoint, created Vishwa. And Mahatma also from the creation standpoint. Sada Jananam Sadhudaya Sannivishta is from his availability standpoint. He is explained. That Paramatma, we have to realize that's called Abhikliptaha. For that the sadhanas are Hridha Manisha Manasa. When it is realized, the result is Ye etadiduhu te amrita bhavanti. They are now eternal, immortal, birth, death, etc. samsara less, without the samsara. That's the result. So before the result, the sadhana is Hrida Manisha Manasa Vikrupta. What is Hrida? Listen carefully. Here he says, first he says, Samyak Ityat Saeva Sakshi Rupena Hrida. देखो हरण हरणे इति स्मरणात्. हरण is a dhatu. Harana is the meaning of that. Iti smaranat, because this is what it is said in dictionary. Harati iti hratu. That which takes everything into it. That's why it's called as hratu. Tena hrada. With that hridaya. What we have to do? Neti neti iti nisheda upadeshena. This is the sadhana. Two thoughts here said. First is what? Sakshi Rupena Hrida Neti neti iti nisheda upadeshena. So beautiful, you see. What is the hrida here? Two sadhanas. One, try to be the sakshi. Now, when you try to be the sakshi, especially to the thoughts in the mind, the thoughts have the knack of pulling us to identify with them. So instead of getting identified with the thought and running with it, I am not this thought, I am not this thought, I am only sakshi, I am only sakshi. That is called as neti neti sadhana. So doing the neti neti sadhana with all the thoughts to remain as the sakshi is the meaning of the word hrida sadhana. So again we will see it. Sa eva sakshi rupena hrida hrut harane iti smaranat harat iti hrut tena hrida neti neti iti nisheda upadeshena. So neti neti iti nisheda upadeshena. So in the heart means that place where the sakshi is getting identified with the thoughts. Instead of getting identified with the thoughts by saying neti neti to them, when we try to remain as sakshi, that effort is called as sadhana hrida. इस तरह करने से ही हृत मीन्स हरण हो जाता है किनका वृत्तियों का. If we identify with the vritti, like Yoga Darshana says, vritti saropyam itaratra. If we identify with the vritti, we continuously become something or the other. We don't reach the being. Therefore, we have to do the harana and destruction of all the vrittis. How? By trying to become sakshi. But when I am trying to become the sakshi, these thoughts are coming and pulling me. What to do? Neti neti. Like Chaturmasa Diksha started from today. So you want to do your sadhana. But then your all everyday people whom you have given you gave them training. The early morning friends to take you for the jogging, the daytime friends to take you for the walking, the afternoon time friends to take you for the eating, and the evening friends to take you for a cinema. All of them will ask you, call you. So what you have to do your committed sadhana for Chaturmasa Diksha? Should we not say neti neti to them? Whom we only have given importance. Whether it is people or whether it is our daily schedules till yesterday, all of them prompt us, tempt us. You have to do neti neti. उससे क्या होगा 3-4 दिन they'll try when they understand you are not coming then वो आना बंद करते. That's called haranam. So by saying neti neti to them, you made them harana removed. Then you are able to do your sadhana. That's called being sakshi. So Hruda means Sakshi Rupena. How to become Sakshi? By rejecting anything which is illuminated by the heart, by the Chetana in me, as Neti Neti. That's not my point of interest. That's not my purpose. ऐसा करते हुए नेति नेति करो तो चले जाते हरण हो जाता है उनका. When you do नेति नेति उसका हरण हो जाता है. Can you understand it? That is enough. When we are not doing neti neti, nothing goes away from our life and everything holds us and it will never allow us to do this sadhana. Okay, like you have already 100 friends, you can make 2 more 100. You can join 10 more organizations. Throw money, they'll give you membership. Up first जाओ 10 जाओ. You can keep on making yourself worldly so much. And we have intelligence resources also. Same way, whatever we have already made, we can slowly eliminate from our life harane by saying neti neti, which is necessary. Otherwise, like this, how many number of Chaturmasa Dikshas have come and gone? We have never cared them on, never done sadhana. In the same way, we can never do sadhana in any of the life if we are in that way not doing neti neti. Keep in mind. So Hrada means by saying neti neti to everything, we try to remain as Sakshi. So Sakshi Rupena Hrada Ru Harane iti
Neti neti iti Shastra Upadesha Dvarena. Shastra Upadesha Dvara is what? I am told to remain as Sakshi and remain as Chetana, which is expressing as Sakshi by the Shastra. And I am told that I am not anything other than the Sakshi. Again, my Shastra. They were basing on the Shastra Upadesha to remain as Sakshi. I am saying Neti Neti to everything. That's called as Neti Neti iti Shastra Upadesha Dvarena. Okay. Neti Neti iti Nisheda Upadeshena. So, Hruda means Nisheda to remain as Sakshi. Hruda is to remain as Sakshi, but for that you have to do the Neti Neti Nisheda. Second sadhana, Manisha, which will come now also in Gita. What is Manisha? Manisha. What is Manisha? Dekho. Ayam Purushartha, Ayam Apurushartha. Ayam Atma, Ayam Anatma. Iti etaya viveka buddhya. So Manisha means buddhi. Manisha means viveka buddhi. Manisha means which viveka buddhi? This is Atma, this is Anatma. And Manisha means this is Purushartha, this is Apurushartha. Purushartha is moksha. Apurushartha is dharmartha kama. Therefore, so far in my ignorance, I was running between dharmartha kama, and therefore, instead of moksha, I was getting bound. I took apurushartha as purushartha, not to be achieved as to be achieved. In the bargain, I forgot the real purushartha, that is to be achieved. So therefore, right now I am changing. What is the change? For me, the purushartha is moksha. Therefore, exactly contradictory opposite to this moksha purushartha or dharmartha kama. Therefore, they are apurushartha to me. This viveka is called manisha. So too, therefore, when moksha is my purushartha to be achieved, moksha is achieved when I realize my atma. Therefore, this is the atma, this is anatma. Therefore, anatma tiraskarana, atma svikar. Earlier kya tha? Trying to remain a sakshi and rejecting all the thoughts which were coming in our mind. Funny. The kama vritti, krodha vritti, lobha vritti, mirsha vritti, dvesh, kuch bhi aa rahe the. So by sakshi bhava, we have rejected all that gush and flow of the thoughts. And by that manisha of conviction that purushartha is moksha for me, other are apurushartha, therefore I don't go for an arthakama dharma. Then in that moksha is achieved through the Atma Prapti. So the Atman is the self in me, Satchidananda, everything other than that, the Panchopadis are the Anatma. So Atma Anatma Viveka, before that, Purushartha Apurushartha Viveka is called as Manisha. That is the thing which is to be developed in us as a required sadhana to know that self in our heart. So, Esha Devaha Vishwakarma Mahatma. Sada Jananam Hridaye Sannivishta. And how you realize him? Hrida Manisha Manasa Abhiklapta. When you realize him, result is Yaitad Vidhu Te Amritaha Bhavanti. So to realize that immortality, we have to realize the self. For that the three sadhanas are Hrida Manisha Manasa. Hrida is Sakshi Bhava and rejection through Neti Neti. Manisha means Apurushartha Purushartha Viveka. Then Atma Anatma Viveka. Now the last word is Manasa. Hruda Manisha Manasa. What is Manasa? Manasa means Vichara Sadhya Ekatva Jnanena cha. Vichara Sadhya Ekatva Jnana is Mana. What is the Mana? The Jnana. Which Jnana? Ekatva Jnana. Achieved through what? Vichara. And what is Ekatva Jnana? Remember, Ekatva Jnana is that there are no garlands, there are no snakes, there are no what you call the hose pipe, etc. Not only that, there are no fangs or the tail or the hood of the snake, nor there is thread and the flowers which made a garland. What is there is only one without second, and that is a rope. This is called as Ekatva Jnana, which is called as mind here. In the TV example, there is no human beings in the form of so many characters, nor there are animals which you are seeing them, nor there is water sources like rivers, oceans which they are showing, nor the land with all the trees or the roads or mountains, nor there are any birds flying above in the sky, nor any vehicles traveling on the road. What is there is only TV screen. Ekatva Vijnana, which is gained through Viveka, Vichara. Vichara sadhya Ekatva Jnana. So, Eka substratum on that Aneka project. So, by rejecting all the projected manyness, when we realize the one substratum through Vichara, that is called as Vichara sadhya Ekatva Jnana, which is called as Manasa here. Very beautiful thought. This is carried today as a gift. Through the vichara, we have to gain the jnana that everything is one. And all the science is trying this only. What is the effort of science? To recognize what? Only one thing. What is the one common thing behind this world? In that search only they went to molecule. But that was not one. They could divide it. Therefore, they went into atoms. By the time they concluded it is the atom, the final particle, one, then they could even divide it into the nucleus and the things around, and then that is also not one. Now they have reached up to one energy. Shakti कहते हैं उसको वेदा is the one which is making the whole world. What Vedanta says, Shakti being inert cannot be independent. Therefore, it has to have the Shaktiman. That Shaktiman is Paramatma Tattva, who is one. And in that Paramatma's state of being oneness, his Shakti also is not separate from him. That's why Ekamevadvayam Brahma Sthiti mein only the Brahman is there, not even his Maya Shakti. Where is it? It has gone into it oneness. Like, where is the wave gone when the water is not appearing as a wave in a glass of water? What water you saw in the river alone is in the glass. In the river, so many waves were there. उस वेव का ही पानी लाया आपने. आप घर में गिलास में देखा. Do you see even a ripple there? Not even little. Only where the wave has gone. The wave is an inherent, undifferentiated Shakti of the water only when it manifests. Now, in the glass of water, it has gone into the water one without second. To such an extent that only water is, not its power to express as wave. That is Ekamevadvayam Brahma. Then, from the Srishti standpoint, that Brahma becomes aware of his Shakti, then he wants to make use of it, then he does Sankalpa, then the whole world has got manifested. All of that Prakriya they should tell us to explain to us the world which we are seeing and taking as real. But none of these explanations are the final Uddeshya of the Vedanta. Vedanta Brahma discovery only. Because is moksha. Because wherever there are two, wherever there are sense of otherness, wherever there are conditionings by the upadhi, suffering cannot be removed. When the two is replaced by one, when the limitations are replaced by the limitationlessness, infinitude, then only the problem cease to exist. And it is possible that I realize my oneness with that infinite Brahman. It is possible. The most luckiest thing, beautiful thing in Vedanta is the highest thing that which is told is possible. That's the beauty of Vedanta. कि जो एकमेवाद्वय ब्रह्म ने नास्तिक किंचन अनुभव है ना, वो संभव है और बहुत होने संभव किया उसको. It's not that the highest philosophy is told and then said that it is not possible. It is possible, that is why it is told. So the Hrida is the sadhana where we try to remain as Sakshi, in that our effort is to say Neti Neti to everything in the form of Vrittis. The Manisha is the Viveka Buddhi, where we are doing Purushartha Viveka followed by Atma and Atma Viveka. Manasa means through the Vichara we have discovered the one substratum convincingly. behind, beyond the multiplicity. Example we gave, one rope only is there. Somebody saw snake, and in the snake so many parts. Somebody saw garland, in the garland so many flowers, and somebody saw the pipe, in that so many things. But इतने अनेक चीज है क्या? है एक ही rope, but projected so many. So too, one Paramatma only. In him, Jiva and so many Jivas. Ishvara and Jagat, so many aspects of the Jagat. And for each of the Jiva, so many upadhis. इतने नहीं है, एक ही है. अब विचार करो तो सबस्ट्रेटम एक ही है, पता चलता. Like small wave, bigger wave, ripples and bubbles. How many do you say so many are there? अरे एक ही पानी है ना, उस पे सब कल्पित. Through the vichara understanding, the one Sat Chidananda substratum behind all seeming names and forms. That's called Manasa. Here in this context. So Hrada, Sakshi Bhavena, Manasa, Viveka Buddhina, Buddhya, and Manisha. Viveka Buddhi, Manasa is Ekatva Jnana. These are the things which we have to master. With that, the self can be realized. When we realize, the result is Amritaha Bhavanti. So, Manasa, Vichara Sadhya, Ekatva Jnanena cha. What do you mean by the word Abhikluptaha? Prakashitaha. That above said Paramatma is Prakashitaha, revealed through these three sadhanas. And when he is revealed, how he is like? Akhanda Ekarasattvena Abhivyakta iti etat. Akhanda, unbroken, Eka, one without second rasa, essence. He will be experienced or revealed, who is already there. So, Hrida Manisha Manasa Abhiklupta is called Prakashit. Do little homework of contemplation on this. Then what is the outcome of it? Ye janaha sadhana chatushte sampannaha sannyasinaha etat tattvasadi vakya pratipadi ekarupam akhanda ekarasam iti yavad viduhu brahma ahamasmi iti aparokshi kuryoh te yatokta jnaninaha amrutaha bhavanti amarana dharmanaha punah avrutti rahitaha bhavanti ityarthaha. That the fourth line, the complete way in which Bhagavan Shankara has given Bhashya here is unparalleled and beautiful. Tomorrow the whole day we'll spend only to understand. And because of this only, last week, whole week, we were doing in our common sense that sadhana chatushte sampada only. So, etad vidu te amrita bhavanti. Whoever knows this Paramatma, they become immortal. In this way, short, sweet भाष्य लिख कर छोड़ सकते थे. अगर ऐसा किए हैं तो how can he be Karunalayam or Adishankara? Therefore, he is proving once again how he is Karunalaya by explaining to us again the entire package of sadhana for moksha. In this last para, taking the opportunity of doing bhashya to that fourth line of that mantra. Ye etad viduhu te amrita bhavanti. Ye means whoever they are. Whoever they are means not everybody. They have to be qualified sadhakas. Who are the qualified sadhakas? Who have got sadhana chatushte sampada. Thereafter gave up everything of the world. Want only Paramatma to be achieved. Therefore they are called as sannyasinaha. See? He will explain that word ye by telling who are the qualified ones. Etad again he will explain. Viduhu again he will explain. Amrita Bhavanti he will explain. Every word he will completely explain in this shloka. I wish and pray by God's Guru's grace, we'll be able to discuss on it tomorrow exhaustively, thoroughly, undoubtedly, and for us take home that beautiful summary of qualification, sadhana, thing to be reached, and thing to be experienced. Ye is qualification. Etad means the goal. Viduhu is sadhana. Amrita Bhavanti is having reached that goal, the experience thereafter. All of them are explained. Very, very marvelous, beautiful bhashya of 4-5 lines. Be prepared mentally to come and study. Thank you. Om 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 Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate Om शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो परमर्षिभ्यो परब्रह्मणे श्रुति मात्रे नमः। तत्सत् ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु। Thank you, friends. Now join for Gita.